How does a bowling alley work? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Hey, have you ever gone bowling before? Oh, I went bowling a lot growing up. These sounds, they're so classic to me. Bowling is a family tradition in my house. See, my dad was a bowler in college, and my pop-pop was a bowler too. In fact, I heard that he bowled a perfect game one time. Do you know what a perfect game is when you're bowling? That's where you bowl nothing but strikes for the whole game. Do you know what a strike is in bowling? That's where you get all 10 pins down in one try. And do you know what it's called if it takes 2 tries to get all the pins down? It's called a spare. I love taking my kids to go bowling. And when they get strikes and spares, we all get so excited. When my kids go bowling, sometimes we use something called the bumpers. Have you ever used the bumpers when you've gone bowling? Do you know what that is? Well, on the sides of the bowling lane, there are these things called gutters. And if the ball goes in either one of the gutters, then you're not going to knock any pins down. But if you set up bumpers, they cover the gutters. So the ball just bounces around the lane if it were going to go in the gutter. It's a way of making sure that you always get at least one pin down. Bowling is just so fun. Okay, if you've never gone bowling before, let me explain how it works. There are these 10 pins, and they're set up in like a triangle shape at the end of the lane. And then you are on the other side of the lane, and you take a heavy bowling ball, and you roll it down the lane to see how many pins you can knock over. You get 2 tries to knock down as many pins as you can, and then it resets for a new frame. If you've gone bowling, have you ever noticed how the machine at the end of the lane resets everything? It's amazing to watch. It lifts up the pins that you didn't knock over, and it pushes away the pins that you did knock over, and somehow it also returns your bowling ball to you, and then just resets everything so that now you can try again to knock down the rest of the pins. And it all happens so fast, almost instantaneously. Have you ever wondered how it all works? I was thinking about this today because I got a question from a kid in the Curious Kids Club named Kinsley. Kinsley was curious.
Hi Josh, my name's Kinsley. I'm 8 years old, and I'm wondering where bowling pins go when they get knocked down.
The machine at the end of a bowling lane is called a pin setter. Can you say pin setter? The pin setter's job is to clean up the pins and set up a new group of pins. So let's imagine that you roll a bowling ball down the lane. Are you ready? All right, get the ball ready. And my dad always taught me it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, you put the ball in front of you. 2, you drop it down to your hip. 3, you bring the ball behind you. And 4, you follow through and release. There goes the ball and crash! The ball smashes into the pins. Now let's say it knocks down 6 of them. Right in front of the bowling pins is something called the ball sensor. And when that sensor notices that a ball has passed by it, the pin setter gets ready to start. First, the pin setter lowers a large metal frame over the pins. This frame helps the machine figure out which pins are still standing. The pins that are still standing are lifted up by the pin setter. And this leaves the lane clear. So then a long bar called a sweep moves across the lane. And this sweep pushes all the fallen pins into a collection area behind the lane. That area is called the pit. And the pit is like a little treadmill. It makes sure that all the pins roll even further back into the pit. So imagine a treadmill that has all of the fallen pins on it and the bowling ball that's all spinning back there. The bowling pins go further back into the pit, but the bowling ball stays near the front because it can't pass by the small little gap that the pins go through. Once the fallen pins are gone, the standing pins are lowered back down exactly where they were before. That way you can take your second shot and try to knock down the remaining pins. But what if you get a strike and knock down all 10 pins? Well, first things first, congratulations on getting a strike! There are no standing pins to put back. The machine sweeps away all the fallen pins. The large metal piece comes down and recognizes there are no pins to pick back up, and everything resets for a new frame. But where do all of those new pins come from? Are they the same pins you knocked down before? After you bowl, all of those pins roll to the back of the pit, and then they have to go up a lift. From there, they move through a series of belts and guides. Kind of like they're in a factory going down the line, except for this time they're going up and then getting in place to be put back in that triangle shape. But you're not seeing the same pins every frame. Each lane usually has 20 pins. 10 are on the lane at any given time, and 10 are getting ready in the pin setter for the next frame. Isn't that cool? Okay, but I know what you're wondering now. What about the bowling ball? How does that get back to you? When I was a kid, the number one coolest thing about bowling was the machine that returns your bowling ball to you. Isn't it cool how it always just comes right out of that hole? Well, here's how it works. After the ball rolls into the back of the lane, or the pit, it drops into a track underneath the bowling alley. There's a little hole that it goes through, and that hole stays closed for a few seconds after the pin setter begins picking up the pins, just to make sure that all the pins have been placed to the very back of the pit so that no pins accidentally go through that bowling ball hole. That wouldn't be good. So after the ball rolls into the back of the lane, it drops into a track underneath the bowling alley. A conveyor belt grabs the ball and accelerates it back to you. Yep, it all happens under the ground. Isn't that cool? Now, people have been bowling since before all of these amazing machines existed. Did you know that? But how on earth would you bowl without these machines? Well, before automatic pin setters were invented, bowling alleys had people called pin setters whose job was to reset the pins by hand. Yep, after every roll, the pin setter would quickly remove all the fallen pins and also set them up for a fresh group of 10 pins for the next frame. I can imagine that was probably a very stressful job. You had to move quick to keep the games going. And, I guess, try to avoid rolling bowling balls. But these machines we use now are way more efficient. It's kind of hard to explain just how amazing these bowling machines are in an audio podcast. But if you ever get the chance to see one for yourself, you'll be really surprised just how many things the machine has to do just right to get those 10 pins in the exact right spot every single frame, and also safely return your bowling ball to you so that you can try to knock them all down all over again. Okay, let's have a quick quiz and see what we learned today. What is it called when you knock down all 10 pins in one roll? It's called a strike. And what is the machine at the end of the lane called? It's called a pin setter. What part of the machine pushes fallen pins off the lane? It's called the sweep. Let's play true or false. True or false? A giant vacuum sucks the bowling ball back up to the front of the lane. No, that's false. It's a belt accelerator. True or false? A pin setter can tell which pins are still standing. That is true. True or false? Bowling alleys keep extra pins inside the pin setting machine. That is true too. That keeps things moving quickly. Would you rather bowl on a lane with 100 pins or bowl with a remote-controlled bowling ball that you could control after you roll it? Well, for me, the fun of bowling is trying to get the spin and placement just right as it comes off of your hand. So I don't think I want to use a remote-controlled bowling ball. But 100-pin bowling lane? Now that sounds fun. Can you even imagine the sound that 100 pins would make as they fell down? Okay, let's play a round of What Am I? What am I? I travel very quickly. I weigh more if you are a grown-up, and I weigh less if you are a kid. And I knock down pins. What am I? I am a bowling ball. I don't really know what it is about bowling that I love so much. Maybe it's just all the great memories I have of bowling with my family as a kid. And it's been really fun taking my kids bowling too. And whenever we go, I just love looking at all the machines and seeing how they all work. It really is amazing how many things have to go just right for a game of bowling to go smoothly. But those machines do their job over and over and over again. It's easy to take these really complex machines that we use every day for granted, but especially when I'm in a bowling alley, I try to pay extra attention and just be so grateful. I've got an idea. The next time you leave the house, I want you to look around and see if you can notice any machines that are being used that maybe you haven't really thought about. Machines are used for everything, even for fun games like bowling. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out, so until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got some birthdays today. Boone from Utah is turning 5. Happy birthday, Boone. Kayon from Georgia is turning 8. Happy birthday, Kayon. Augie from California is turning 5. Happy birthday, Augie. Arlo from Utah is turning 5. Happy birthday, Arlo. Riley from Melbourne, Australia is turning 4. Happy birthday, Riley. Julia from South Carolina is turning 6. Happy birthday, Julia. Lily from Indiana is turning 6. Happy birthday, Lily. Olive James from California is turning 5. Happy birthday, Olive James. Miles from Washington is turning 7. Happy birthday, Miles. Henry from Virginia is turning 7. Happy birthday, Henry. Griffin from Maryland is turning 7. Happy birthday, Griffin. Sam from Ohio is turning 5. Happy birthday, Sam. Kyra from California is turning 3. Happy birthday, Kyra. Theo from Valkenburg, Netherlands is turning 6. Happy birthday, Theo. Peyton from Colorado is turning 5. Happy birthday, Peyton. River from Georgia is turning 5. Happy birthday, River. Arlo from Connecticut is turning 4 this week. Happy birthday, Arlo. And Bear is from Arizona, and Bear is turning 5. Happy birthday, Bear. To all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kid wants their birthday mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.